He has this just amazing learning
My social graph is completely different.
a cost center, and he has made it into a profit center.
Just give this away for free. Like, you can always let the algorithm decide what it.
So, what's your second product? Second
Okay.
company.
So this time I've picked a company that's actually more legit, so to speak. And I think I'd be jumping the gun by saying this because they are not out yet. They haven't launched. They haven't done anything. But it's just an idea that's floated out. But then because it has come from a it's come from someone who has actually proven himself and who has done a lot of things earlier in the past. I think it's like it's like a good idea to explore, and it's a good concept to actually probe into. So Blue Sky is basically this company that's not owned by anybody, but it's basically driven by Jack Dorsey, who's the co-founder of Twitter, right? So Blue Sky was a concept that was initially conceived back in 2019 when Jack Dorsey was the CEO of Twitter. He funded like this very small group of people it was about 5 people, I think. So these 5 guys were assigned with one task only. And the task was to decentralize social media. Okay. And I just want to talk about why we even need a decentralized social media and what does it even mean? Because this is like a very new concept. Like the whole idea of decentralization is so new to us, right? And like these guys just keep on slapping the D's everywhere. Like you have DAOs and you have dApps and you have DeFi's and like guys just keep the D to yourself, Like what's like the D everywhere. So the decentralized social media is basically a concept to take away the power from the centralized. The centralized companies that operate the social media today. Right now, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, and we have YouTube, and we have Twitter. Right. So these are the 4 major social medias. Of course, we have Snap, etc. But then, fine. Like the majority of people spend most of their time on these 4 platforms, which is controlled by TikTok, Google, Facebook, Meta, and Twitter, right?
Twitter, yeah.
So there's a lot of inherent problems with this. Like first of all, if you think about it, like you and I are recording this podcast. Like if you remember the first episode that we loaded, the single most hassle that we had to go through was we had to load the same clip in like every single social media platform. We have to load it on Spotify. We have to load it on, like, let's say if we create Instagram account, we have to put Reels on Instagram separately. Yeah. We have to load it on YouTube. I had to put it on Twitter. So it's like a separate social graph that we had to, or a social imprint that we had to put on each of these platforms. And that is because the nature of these social media companies is so adiabatic with each other. As in, like their whole business model runs on this outdated system of generating revenue through ads. I dare say outdated, but but it's just like a concept that
and the $8 verified this thing now. So yeah, ads plus the $8 thing now.
Dude, there's this funny thing that I saw today that a lot of verified accounts are now changing their Twitter handles to Elon Musk.
Yeah, no, but they're getting banned now. So Elon is just like, oh, you want to claim, you want to write my name? Fine, just out.
Oh, they're getting banned.
Everyone's getting banned because they changed their name to Elon Musk, so they're impersonating people. So, oh my god, tons of famous people got banned today. Oh, it's crazy.
But anyway, back to this whole revenue thing, right? So, because they have this ad-driven revenue model, it requires them to keep their data extremely isolated from their competitors, right? And this nature in itself has made it because the nature of revenue generation is like this for these social media companies. It just made it so difficult for us as creators to be able to form a reliable social footprint on each of these platforms. Right. And if let's say I'm not a content creator, I'm not a content generator, but then rather I'm just a content consumer. I still have to go into each and every social media platform and give all of my data and then just hope that they use it for the right reasons. And then I have to generate my whole social graph there. right? I show my interest, and like every time you sign up into link, like let's say you're on
Yeah.
Twitter, and then you sign up on LinkedIn, you have to still create your own interests and talk about what you
Yeah.
like, etc., right? So it's extremely difficult to keep consistency across these social media platforms, and as end users, and of course as content creators, they even have a bigger problem in like reaching out to the right audience, because something that I see on YouTube, because my social graph is, let's say, X on YouTube, I'll be seeing like certain kinds of feed. My social graph on Instagram is going to be Y. So the same, so that content creator who's on Instagram, I might not be able to see his content,
Yeah.
right? Because my social graph is completely different on a different platform,
Different.
right? So this is one of the problems that's there in like the current centralized social media thing, right? And the other problem that exists is with respect to like outages and like bans and like whatnot, right? So this is very common. In fact, like a few days ago, I think it was last week, Instagram had this glitch, and like people lost millions of followers.
Oh yeah, something happened.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo lost 3 million followers. Like to him, it's probably like it's nothing. Like it's just
Yeah.
like whatever, But imagine content creators who have like 3 million followers. To them, it would be like their whole career has ended, right? Like what they would have built for over such a long span of time. So this whole outages and this glitches that keep happening day in day out is like a big problem. And of course, like the community guidelines that they have, if you think about it, is not really community based. Like no one really said that, hey, I want Twitter to function this way. It's the Twitter people who have decided that, yeah, this is the best way for like the for this particular social network to operate, right? So they have decided what the community guidelines have to be, right? And we don't really get to have a say in it, and
Yeah.
despite the fact that we are the community.
We are the end user. We are the people that are going to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, these are the problems, man. You see, right? Like these are like these are like some of the various problems that you have. And of course, you don't own your data at all, right? Like this is probably by now everybody we have like reached to that level of understanding that the way social media operates is by leveraging or exploiting your data, and like they sell your data basically, right? They sell your personality to people. And I just want to draw a small tangent here and talk about one very interesting experiment that I saw. Not an experiment, but this was a study that was conducted by Target. Okay, so Target was so there was this statistician or like a mathematician who was hired by Target to um, identify pregnant women amongst their customer base, so that Target could give coupons to those people. Okay, and the way they had to do it, what that mathematician had to do it was had to be non-intrusive, right? Which meant that you can't really go and ask someone, or you can't like fill out a survey form or whatever. It had to be like based on the traits and characteristics of shopping that a particular person did.
Buying trends.
Yeah, by trends,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
so this guy identified that women buy a lot of creams, and they buy like a lot of body care products as they progress through their pregnancy. And then like he found out this pattern, and then he was able to like very accurately estimate whether a woman was pregnant or not. And in fact, there was this one guy who kept receiving coupons, and then of like these all the products related to what a woman would need during pregnancy, right? He kept receiving those coupons, and then he was like annoyed. He was like, bro, what the fuck? I have like a 17-year-old daughter, and like what are you sending me this for? And then like Target had to apologize and whatever. But then like few weeks later, they realized that that woman was already pregnant.
Oh,
So
that's so cool. That's so cool.
it was just really cool that Target knew it through data than they knew it than that guy knew it, right? And it was his own daughter, and she was living with him day in day out. Like, so I don't know, like somehow they were able to figure it. That's the power of data, right? That's what I'm trying to tell. Right, so you can derive so much information out of it, and you just give this away for free to all these social media companies. So these are the problems, bro. Basically, right? Like with the current social media architecture, so to speak, that we have.
Yeah.
So Jack Dorsey was like, guys, like this is not how this is not how we can progress as a society, right? We can't be radicalized. We can't like shut each other off. Like to some extent we can radicalize, but no one has the authority to control over any other person's opinion or voice, right? The whole idea of internet was to express yourself freely, and I'm going to give you that, right? And that is when he started off this Blue Sky. So like I was saying, in 2019 he started off this initiative with 5 people. So these 5 people were given a single task to develop a decentralized social media protocol. Right now, what this decentralized, what a protocol means is nothing but a standard. Right. So you can, it's like kind of like how a blockchain is a standard. Right. Like Ethereum blockchain is a standard. Bitcoin blockchain is a standard. This is a different standard in itself. Right. So this requires, so you can build a lot of things on top of Blue Sky, and the protocol that they follow is called as Authenticated Transfer Protocol, which means it stands for AT protocol. It's like it's called ATP basically. So this ATP, on top of ATP, you can build a lot of things, right? You can build apps, you can build websites, browser, dApps is what they call it, and you can also build a lot of DWAs, which is the decentralized version of PWA that we have. PWA is nothing but a progressive web app, right?
Okay.
Wherein you have a website basically, and what users can do is they can go and add that website to their home screen. So you will get it in your app drawer, right? Like a regular app, but then it's not installed on your phone. It doesn't occupy any space, and you click on that, it will redirect you to the website, right? That's a PWA. So a decentralized version of it is called a DWA, right? So you have these DWAs that a lot of things you can build basically on Blue Sky, right? And this AD protocol is what is driving all of this, right? So it is based on like four primary principles. The first thing is called is the account portability, right? So what it means is that if you have a social graph on a particular platform, like let's say LinkedIn, you can carry that social graph with you to Instagram. You can carry that to Reddit. You can carry that to Twitter. And so these are not walled gardens anymore, so to speak, right? These are not adiabatic with each other, but rather like you can interact, right? That's like a very, very nice thing if you think about it as content creators and as users, because of the problems that I just mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
is it a choice? Like, can I choose not to bring my like social graph from like the other platform to here?
Dude, yeah, you own your data, right? You have all of that. Like even the companies cannot see any of your data, right? You have a private key. The whole thing is encrypted and it is stored on something on a web node, right? It's a decentralized web node again. There is a D there again as well. So you just store it in this particular thing and you completely own it, and you can unlock it only with your private key. That cryptographic encrypted thing can be unlocked only with your private key, right? And if you want it, you can give it to advertisers. You can like give it to content creators. You can give it to like the company that's hosting it. You can just give it to anybody that you want. So you own your data and you decide what you want to do with it, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, they have this account portability, which is one standing pillar of it. The next pillar is the algorithmic choice, which I think is like super cool. Okay. So right now, what happens on Twitter, on Instagram, on any of these social media platforms is that you are given the content that is decided by the algorithm, right? So there are certain metrics on the basis of which a particular post gets decided, whether it is trending or not, whether people like it or not, and the algorithm decides what that is, and then it is pushed to you, no matter whether you want to see it or not, right? So that is with the current structure of social media, right? But with AT protocol, you get to decide what kind of algorithms you want, what kind of data you want the algorithm to serve you, right? So imagine this to be like let's say you go onto Spotify, right? If you want to listen to like, let's say some kind of soothing music, you play jazz, you have a playlist for jazz. So you go into jazz and you get like all the like, calming jazz type songs. And then like, let's say you are in a hip hop mode and like you want to listen to something that's more pumping. You enter into a hip hop playlist and you get all those songs. Right. So you get to decide what kind of music you want to listen. Like Spotify is not serving. And if you really want randomness, you just play shuffle. You just let the algorithm decide what it thinks you should listen to. Right. So That kind of choice doesn't exist in the current social media platforms. On Twitter, you can never decide that. You can never decide what kind of tweet you're seeing, right? It's all based on like what's trending or what the algorithm decides what it thinks it's nice, right? On AT protocol, you can like kind of fine tune what kind of content you're seeing. That which I think is really cool, right?
So what do you mean by like I'm just trying to picture it because I'm a big fan of algorithm like recommended content, and YouTube does that really well for me.
Yeah.
I I don't go beyond the I don't search for anything. My YouTube knows what I listen to, what I watch, and when I watch, and it's done beautifully. Okay, and it's taken a lot of time for me to like train it. I made like new accounts to make sure, okay, this is the kind of content I want to see, and it's really cool. Another example I want to give you is with Spotify, like you mentioned, when you put it on shuffle. So say there was one day I was like, I want to listen to classic rock, but I don't like search or anything. I just go to my like songs and I just press this song and I put it on shuffle. Okay, I was like, while listening to it, I'm like, damn, that I want to listen to more music like this. But I didn't want to really like change it or like put this thing. I was busy or something like that, and it automatically like just started playing classic rock music. And the more I kept listening to it, so it recognizes, okay, he liked this recommendation, cool. He liked this recommendation, cool. He liked this recommendation, cool. Although it was all from my music, but it just played the same genre. So I'm a big fan of this thing that they're tracking. So um, how will this thing like compete like with people like me?
Dude, I have to really first of all agree with what you're saying because I love my YouTube algorithm too. I enjoy it. You know, when I look at it, I'm like, dude, what you're doing is fantastic. I don't even know what to search for. You already know what I want, and you give me that kind of content.
Yeah.
I get that, but the idea here is that if like if you are not satisfied with what it is giving, like you can always let the algorithm decide what it wants. What like you can always put it on shuffle and just like listen to it on the days or on the kinds of like if you want to like look at certain specific kind of content. If you're one of those people who is just like, bro, I cannot let the algorithm decide what I should watch and I have my own free will, then you get to kind of pick. It's like kind of you can switch between dark theme and light theme kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Verticals, like politically you can have a vertical that has a gradient, and then like in terms of entertainment you could have a gradient, in terms of sports you could have a gradient, so like that, right? And then based on that you can like get content served to you suitably, right? This does promote, like obviously this does promote so much of extremism if you think of it like in some sense. But his vision, like Jack Dorsey's vision of decentralization, is to not really take control over anybody, but let the people
Yeah.
decide for themselves what is so most suited for them, right?
Hmm.
And basically, he believes in this thing called wisdom of the crowd, right? Wherein like on an average, like when a lot of people are put in a room together, something good will come out of it, right?
Hmm.
So that's the idea of algorithmic choice, right? So that's the second thing. There are two more principles. The third principle is interoperation, which I think we kind of just discussed, wherein you can like kind of switch hassle free, right? As content
Yeah.
creators, you can switch hassle free. And the fourth thing is this thing called performance and scalability. And they don't know, basically all the blockchains and all the Web3 technology that's out there is based on, there is a limitation that you can, there are limitations in terms of technologically scaling this idea. But then AT protocol is going to be focusing on performance as one of their main USPs as well,
Hmm.
right? If you think of it, there is this very nice application for this. Like imagine you're applying for jobs, right?
Okay.
And you have a profile on Naukri.com and you have a profile somewhere else, and it's just difficult to like do the same thing over and over again, and like
Hmm.
it's hard to maintain level of uh, that level of
Consistency, commitment, the type of writing. Yeah, I know. Been there, done that, man.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's really hard to like truly replicate yourself across systems, across platforms. But then if you could have this integrated, right? If you could have all of them on one single platform, you just need to have one identity that you have created for yourself, which is truly you. And then this is like really going in, like it's like how you rent a vehicle, right? You take out your driver's license, you give it to that guy, you give your all your information on will, like you are willingly giving it to him, and then he gives you a service or a product, right? And then you take that, and then once you're done, you give back the service, and then you take your identity back. So you never really return it anywhere, and your identity is consistent, like you said, across various service providers, right?
So, I have a question. So, since the data is completely owned by you and everything, and you choose it, so I'm assuming that advertisement is not a source of revenue um, like this app, right? So, what would it just be a paid service like the Twitter $8 this thing type, like whatever? Do you think?
It could be more like Brave, wherein you get to decide what kind of ads you want to see, and you get to decide, like, what kind of services.
Wait, what's Brave? I know a bit about it, but if you could just explain how that
So,
works.
Brave is this new. It's not new, but it's like this alternate browser. But it's an alternative browser like DuckDuckGo and Chrome and Internet Explorer. It's like that. But the only difference is it does not track anything that you do. It does not leave any cookies whatsoever, and like your data is totally secure. Your searches are totally secure. And basically, the one good thing about Brave is that you get paid to watch ads. Okay, so every time you spend some time watching ads, the ad guys also get paid. Ad guys pay Brave, and then you get paid in terms of Brave tokens. So they have this thing called BAT. It's a cryptocurrency. It's called Brave Access Tokens. So you
Right.
get paid in terms of Brave Access Tokens for watching ads, right? But the idea here is that you get to regulate what kind of ads you want to see, how much of ads you want to see. All of those things is under your control, right?
But
So
I don't want to watch ads ever.
yeah,
Right?
so you can probably just choose not to. But I'm sure there are a lot of there are a lot of these. There ads are not always bad. What is bad is like
The
something that you
track,
don't
the
consent for.
control.
Like yeah, so let's say we are just talking about let's say buying some product on Amazon and then it just shows up on my feed. That is a definite invasion of my privacy. But like if I'm like getting ads of like 60% off on like let's say Air Jordans, I wouldn't mind that. Like I'm like, bro, I'll probably just
Makes sense.
purchase that, right? So not all types of ads are bad. Some ads are definitely bad, and the idea here is that you get to decide what kind of ads you want to see. And well, hey, if you like it, then like the ad guys are also going to pay the platform. So in some sense, I think there is ad revenue coming through ads. But yeah, I like it's probably not going to be their major source of revenue like how it is today.
Okay, and here's another thing I just want to add up on this. So my data in Brave, my data is secure. It's not tracked, right?
It's not tracked.
Okay. As an advertiser, you have a certain target audience that you want to like attract and send your ad to. How does that thing happen? Is like Brave browser like a medium? Like, say, the thing is, if I accept, I want to watch ads. I don't want to be the guy, who's getting the pregnancy ads or something like that. Like, I don't want discount coupons on pregnancy. I want something that's more apt for me. So my social so-called graph is there, but I have control over it. It's not given to the advertisers, but the medium has it. So when I'm like, okay, like when I like, say, okay, fine, yeah, I'll watch like this much of an ad, I'll get the, sorry, targeted ones, you could say.
Correct, correct.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
Interesting.
what Google does is that it does not you can't control whether you want to see ads or not basically. But on Brave you can literally tell how many ads you want to watch per hour. You can like there's a definite number that you can put, and you will only get served those many ads, and the number can be zero as well. So basically, while using Brave, you if you do not want any ads, you be like, bro, I don't want any ads. Don't give me
Yeah.
any ads.
Yeah.
And
I think,
if you let's say want to earn money, like I earned like what 3 Brave tokens, and each Brave token is I would say like about 60 cents. Okay, So that's like $0.6. So and last month. So every month you earn certain Brave tokens and you get that credited into your account. And anyway, I use a browser. I'm just like, bro, might as well just make some money out of it. And yeah, like I made like 3 Brave tokens. So that's like $1.50. But fine, I would have made zero on Chrome, and I would have let like a shit ton of trackers track me. So that's another kind of
Yeah.
that yeah that's another kind of incentive that people have to watch ads and watch meaningful ads, right? That matter to them, and on consent basically, which is the most important thing.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel the incentive for us should be a bit more. Okay, like more than like what you said, $3 in a month or something like that.
Yeah,
Because you know, advertisers spend a shit ton of money. So
yeah,
like I mean, if they're not like, I mean, if the end user is not getting something out of it, because it's my data, like I'm the one selling. Sure, the three, like, you know, 0.001% should be like the medium that's actually should take the cut. Okay, advertisers should technically pay us
yeah.
like a lot more,
Yeah,
you
dude,
know.
actually on Brave, you can earn a lot more. Like what I'm saying is just by
Okay.
browsing through ads, right? So if you create content on Brave, if you have websites that are only on Brave and people visit your website, you'll get paid shit ton more. Like I'm sure there are like YouTube videos in ways in which you can earn like hundreds of dollars a month by just using Brave.
Just
Like
using Brave.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. This is only through ads, and I don't specifically go and watch ads. The only time I get to see ads is when I open a new tab. If I open a new tab, something pops up, and only then I get to see it. And more often than not, I just use existing tabs. Like I pick a tab that's just sitting around there, and I just use a different URL and access that. Right.
Nice.
So yeah, this is just by not doing anything. This is just by carrying on my regular work. I'm able to earn so much. I'm sure if I can invest more time into it and watch more Brave content, like I'll make way more.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Interesting. So yeah, coming back to Blue Sky.
So yeah, this is the revolutionary technology that's gonna come up, and I'm sure I'm very positive about the way in which this thing is like positioned, like the vision of this company, because ideally things have to be decentralized. Like what we have realized as a civilization is that decentralization is the way out. Ever since Satoshi Nakamoto came out with this mind blowing concept of decentralized gold, which is Bitcoin. Uh, we've just realized that, bro, we function like we have technical and system limitations, but it's just a matter of time. Like those are physical barriers that we can get past, and once we do, this is the way out. This is genuinely the way out. Because information is more valuable than oil, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we've got to like own that's extremely priceless to us, and we've got to own it. And people have started realizing that. So I just think it's cool that Jack Dorsey is doing this. And there's also I just want to talk about two more things.
Right.
First thing is about Web 5. There is a new concept that he has introduced, which is called Web 5. Okay,
Okay.
and it's a combination of Web 2 and Web 3 that's become this new thing, new form of internet. And the reason why he's come up with Web 5 is actually very interesting. And you've actually mentioned this in one of our earlier recordings, which
Right.
is he believes that Web 3 is not decentralized. He believes that blockchain as a concept in itself is not decentralized. And the reason why he thinks is because of the whales, right? So there are many people who could potentially own that cryptocurrency and basically dominate that blockchain or the DApp. And he's just like, bro, the moment you have incentives and monetization into the picture, you're kind of diluting the whole idea of decentralization, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. The only way I see a fully decentralized thing working is a .org. That's it.
yeah,
That like I'm serious. I actually saw there's a company called Signal. Okay,
yeah,
it's a WhatsApp
MSP,
type thing. Yeah, messaging app where it's like, you know, focused on data privacy. .org.
yeah,
Simple. Okay, they're like, please give us donations.
yeah,
We need to pay our developers. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. So basically, he's come up with this Web 5 concept, which is totally independent of cryptocurrency, right? That's the major difference between Web 3 and Web 5. They don't have crypto coins or currencies on them. And basically, people own the data and they can sell the data to advertisers. So it's entirely peer to peer, obviously. And that is the concept of Web3 that comes into play. And yeah, like if you want to sell your data, you sell your data, you earn your coins, and advertisers spend the money directly on you. So there is no intermediary, there is nobody in between. So Web5 is actually a good. It's a nice thing to explore, but that's a rabbit hole in itself. And maybe we can have another episode on what Web5 is and what all this new technology is. But yeah, that's one thing that he's promoting. And I've asked a couple of questions on Twitter. I've asked to Jack Dorsey. I've asked to a few more people who are core to AT protocol if AT protocol is going to be a use case for Web5. If I get answers, then yeah, I'll just let you know in the next episode. But yeah, that's a new thing that's going to come up. And the second thing that I want to talk about is something called DeSo. You should really research about it.
Huh.
It stands for decentralized social media. This is a Web3 based blockchain. DeSo is a blockchain like Ethereum, like Bitcoin, and they enable social media apps to be built on this DeSo blockchain.
So
And
like AT only, right? Blue Sky is AT protocol, same thing,
Yeah.
same level, right? If I'm not, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the only difference is there are cryptocurrencies involved in DeSo. AT has no cryptocurrencies whatsoever. Right?
Okay.
So on DeSo there is a cryptocurrency called Diamond, and you can pay content creators using Diamond. So if you really liked what they're saying, you can pay them through Diamond, right? Through the cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of chatter about monetization of content creators and those kind of things. There people are like, especially tokenizing your content creators and those kind of whatchamacallit. There's a site that I can't think of right now, but yeah, DeSo is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
talking about content creator, are you done? Can I head up?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, talking about content creators, I have to talk about the number one YouTuber, businessman, founder, billionaire. What do we call him?
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist? I don't know. No, I don't know whether he's there in philanthropy as of yet.
Dude, he
But
is. Uh,
the one and only Mr. Beast. And yeah, have you watched any Mr. Beast videos?
Yeah.
Yeah?
After you told me about Mr. Beast, I was just like, bro, I have to know who this guy is. You only introduced me to Mr. Beast, honestly. I
Okay.
didn't know who he was.
Yeah, so I don't like watch it on a daily basis or anything, but I have watched a few of his videos. It's super cool, super chill. Good time pass, like very entertaining. Okay, it's nice. So I don't know where to start. He's doing so much. Okay, he's right now. They say he's gonna be the first YouTube billionaire, which I think he already is. Okay, I'll. He has almost 10 channels, YouTube channels. His main channel has 110 million subscribers. All the channels combined, he has 192 million. Okay, he's almost reaching the 200 million mark. Okay, which no other YouTuber is even close to. Okay, and recently, and this is going to blow your mind, someone offered $1 billion to acquire the whole thing, and he rejected it. And he said, "Give me 20 billion, then I'll think about it." Yeah, and whoa, right? So, okay, so where do I start, man? Where do I start? What do you want to know? You tell me. I know everything about this.
And like, I just want to know why he's so famous, right? Because most people have a theme, or like most people have that USP that makes them special. What according to you think makes him like what he
Okay.
is today?
He is, according to me, his USP is that he's a crackhead. Let me explain. Let me explain. Okay, he doesn't do crack. Okay, I don't think so, at least. Okay, he is an obsessive person. People have literally called him that. He works almost his work ethic is unbelievable. He only cares about making videos. His whole thing is, I want to make the best videos. How do I up this? Okay, so I'll give you the whole gist. Okay, so he makes comedy videos, entertainment videos. He has blogs. He has a reaction channel. He has a philanthropy channel. Actually, you were right. He does do philanthropy. Yeah, he has a philanthropy channel. Okay, and he's not the typical YouTuber like your Nelk boys or anything that like creates such a ruckus for like reactions where they go and like I don't know like do stupid shit in front of this thing. He does do stupid as in like excessively like massive things like, oh, today I'm not gonna feed one homeless man. I'm gonna feed 100,000 hungry people, homeless people or something. So yeah, that's his kind of things. And it's not just his YouTube. He has leveraged his brand and he has built businesses all around. Okay, so he has a couple of businesses that I will mention as we go. Okay, so giving you the full gist of how he started, and this will answer you. It'll answer your question of what is his USP, why he's a crackhead, and why he is one of the best YouTubers out there. His name is Jimmy Donaldson. Okay, I will refer to him as Jimmy or Mr. Beast itself. Okay,
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. That sounds so cool. Okay, he started creating content when he was 11 years old. Okay, he's 24 now. He's 24 now. He started when he was 11. How he stumbled upon content creation is he heard some guy made some $2,000 on YouTube. He saw on the news and he said, "Oh, really? You can make money on YouTube?" So he was playing a game and he got hacked or something. So he uploaded that video, and that video got 20,000 views. I mean, at that time, that game was probably popular or something like that, and not many people were on YouTube. There was not too much content was being uploaded on YouTube. Let's just say that. So he got 20,000 views. So he's like, oh, then he was just hooked. He was bad at school. He didn't do anything. His whole thing was, I will make YouTube content. That's it. Okay. And he's a very like shy kid. He had like pimples on his face. He wasn't like the cool kid. He's a little weird. He's a weirdo. And we like weirdos here in Three Commas. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, and he's from the small town in North Carolina where it's like, hey y'all, that kind of vibe. So like telling, and there was no thing called a YouTuber. Imagine that. So somehow throughout he had a channel when he was 11. He had to delete it because his friends found out about it and made fun of him. Okay, so he deleted that channel. Then he started another channel from 13, and that he never deleted it after that because he missed it. He was obsessed with this. So somehow he gets to high school, and he's just making like $1, $2 a day or like in a week. So that's not enough to like sustain. And obviously his grades are shit, and his parents are just like, his mom is just like, move out or go to community college. So it's like, holy shit, okay, fine, I'll go to community college. But he used to go to college, bunk, sit in a car, and create content for 15 hours a day. Because, because he's bunking community college, he has only like a semester. The clock has started. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, his mom finds out, he's done, he's busted. And in that semester's time, he just created so much content. And one of his video popped off. He made like $20,000. So he took the money, he moved out. He's like, okay, that's it. I'm going to be a YouTuber. Bye. And yeah, that's his story. And during this process, every day at 11 o'clock, okay, or 10 o'clock, he would get on a call with these other YouTubers, okay, who are just trying to, hustle and make it. And they would literally like, oh, what thumbnails get the most number of clicks? That'll be like the discussion. What lighting is better? What mic is better? And like, they would sometimes talk for like 10, 12 hours. Imagine that. Just sitting in front of a screen, just like discussing. How should the thumbnail look? How should it sound? And all these kind of metrics. Okay, so he has that like jotted down. Even now, when you like look at Mr. Beast's video, you can see he's not like he's gotten much better at like, articulating and all that stuff. But like, there's still a missing point, you could say, in his delivery. And yeah, and still his videos get so much views because he has figured out these other things. Okay, right. So now let's talk about his businesses. Okay, so he he has what, one, two, three, three businesses right now, and the fourth one is an app. Okay, and I want to start off with the app. Okay, so and this was part of like a YouTube video, or it was a challenge basically. So it's called a finger on the app game. Okay, it got 1.1 million downloads, and it was a single time multiplayer game, multiplayer challenge. So it is the person that holds the on like touches the screen for the longest wins. That's it. So you just gotta like download the app. Okay, when the challenge starts, you touch the screen for like whoever is the longest. So 1.1 million people downloaded,
Damn.
400,000 people participated, and the winner gets $20,000. So that's an incentive, right?
Dude, there was this, there's a YouTube video as well,
Uh,
wherein he says, so there's a stack of $1 million. He's just like put it in one glass box, and there are four people, and you have to just put your hand on top of it. And whoever removes the hand, the last, whoever stays on the box for the longest, keeps the hand on the box for the longest, gets that $1 million. And these guys just sleep there, they eat there, they do like literally everything. And people stay for 48 hours. Like I'm
yeah.
sure, I think there were people who stayed for more than 50 hours, but then they stayed for two
Jeez.
3 days straight, just with their hand on the on that pile of cash.
Where did they
So
pee, bro? Where did they pee?
I have no idea, dude.
That's why.
But
Watch the video, right? Like it's such a like. Oh my god! Since you just told me that, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's crazy.
dude, it's $1 million worth of cash, and it's just four people playing for it, and it's just four random people. These guys are not. These are like really people who need money. Like they have like financial problems and things like that. And he found these kind of people to like participate in stuff like this. So because you brought up this game. There's a very similar video as well which you should watch. And Mr. Beast, I'm promoting your video here.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, like, it's exactly the point that he is giving back to community, and
Yeah.
I'll talk more about that. So that's his whole philanthropy channel, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the finger on the app. Apparently there were four split winners, and it went on for over 70 hours.
Oh my god.
70 hours. Luckily, it was on a phone that you can just hold, and like I can like go to the bathroom and those kind of things. But that I want to watch the video you mentioned now.
Dude, 70 hours is insane. How can you just keep your finger like that for 70 hours?
I think you can like swap it like real quick. Maybe some people would have tried.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I just think it's just like so exhausting to even 70 hours is like what, bro? It's like 3 days, just your finger on the phone.
Yeah,
Even
man.
when you're sleeping, even when you're like doing everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But 20K, I would probably just go for it.
Twenty
Fuck it.
thousand dollars, man. Like so the incentive is there. Okay, he's created the hype about it, and the people come. So he understands what gets people's attention, and what will like like make them click. Obviously big numbers matter and all that. Now here's the thing. So it's not just for a video. Okay, so he created his own chocolate bar brand. Okay, it's called Feetables, and the one of the reasons he did this, he's like, yeah, fine. Buy this, you will get a golden ticket. So he did Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. So he's like, oh, everyone's just like, yeah, I want a golden ticket, because what he did was next. So 10 people randomly got these golden tickets. He did $10 million in sales, by the way. Okay, Feetables, and it was started in January 2022. Okay, it's November now. By October, he made $22 million of sales in this. So yeah, so these people got the golden ticket, and he literally made a chocolate Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he's like, the winner of this challenge will get the factory that is making probably like I don't know, the candy bars or something like that, and that became his content later on as well. So it's like a whole loop. So he's figured out the financials as well. Like, he's like, okay, I will sell this. There'll be a lot of hype. We'll use that money. We'll make a factory. We'll use that. Okay, that'll get a ton of views. The sponsors will pay. Done. Okay. Yeah. 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 So, super cool. So he has, okay, so now these were the small timers. Okay, now let's big boy stuff. Okay, he has a burger brand. It's called Mr. Beast Burger. Okay, and it's absolutely, I think it's one of the most brilliant things, and I don't know why it did not happen anywhere. Okay, he knew that his brand is massive enough that he can leverage it. Okay, so this is the story. In 2020, this is when it happened. He launched over 300 restaurants at the same time. At the same time, like it's available now in America. Go for it. Okay, so yeah, either on the Mr. Beast app or any of your DoorDash or something like that. Okay, and the brilliance was that he didn't just like, oh, I'm Mr. Beast, I'll compete with McDonald's, I'll like use their business model. No, he's like, okay, I have a menu, I will send you the menu, let's partner up. Okay, and he targeted these family run restaurants and those kind of things. He's like, okay, I'll send you the raw materials, I'll send you all the packaging and everything. You just put this on your menu as well as your stuff, and you keep majority of the revenue and you pay us a little bit uh, over here. And this was during the pandemic where all these family run restaurants were losing a lot of money, but because of this beast burger, they they were able to survive and essentially pay off their restaurant and those kind and everything like that. And I that's just true.
Yeah.
That's super smart, man. Like, okay, I have a brand. I will only send out one product which is famous. I'll just make money, and the infrastructure is already there. Ghost kitchens, like it's like a ghost kitchen kind of thing. Okay, now in 2 months he sold 1 million burgers. He has over 1,000 locations. He's gone global. Um, it's crazy, and obviously, like opening 300 stores at the same time, there's a lot of challenges that come. His server crashed that day. There were traffic issues. You know that? Because the line was so big, and he planned for it. He called the town. He's like, no, you need to fix this because there's going to be too much of a line. And people are like, what are you talking about? You're just a kid, like you're some 20 year old. Why should I listen to it? And they regretted it because there were tens of thousands of people out of a small like store and all that.
Um,
It was
Dude,
crazy,
is
man.
it? Do you know if they sell it in India?
Huh? I did. I researched, but one of it is closed.
Oh shit, where is it though?
It was in Delhi.
Ah, okay.
Where have you eaten? Oh no, you're vegetarian, but yeah.
Yeah, but they should come to Bangalore
Yeah, man.
and open
Yeah, man.
like some kind of a veggie option as well.
No, fuck you. We eat the meat. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So, this is where Mr. Beast's genius comes in. It's such a simple thing. He's like, oh, there are only 2% of the people in the world that speak English, or whatever, some percentage, and my most of the rest of the world is not consuming my content. So he's like, fine, let's look at Brazil. Let's look at Brazil, Portuguese, and Spanish, because South America is right there,
Yeah.
and now those channels are one of the highest like fastest grossing channels out like in those areas. Okay, so Mr. Beast Espanol and Mr. Beast Brazil, and so his content can be, it's not nothing complicated, it's an entertainment thing, it can easily be translated. So he went to Brazil, and he's like, okay, we need to set up a translation company, okay, over there. And basically that's what he did. Okay, he found a guy. He's like, I need someone to dub over my voice. Okay, and but he's like, I didn't. He could have just gone on Fiverr, looked online, found a guy who would have just done it for like very very cheap. He's like, no, I want the guy who usually does it for all the big film stars. Okay, so they spent $100,000. Okay, for one video because he's super famous, in those areas and to do the voiceover. And turns out it was Spider-Man. Like the guy who dubbed over Spider-Man's voice is Mr. Beast's voice. And so Mr. Beast's video went super viral because anyone that heard it, it's like, oh shit, Mr. Beast is Spider-Man. Oh, that's crazy.
So
That's crazy. So yeah, and he's like, "Oh, so I'm having this problem. I'm ahead of the curve over here because nobody is creating content like that." And by the way, just to put it out there, he reinvests most of the money he makes in one video back into the other video. So his most expensive video till now is a $6 million video. Imagine that. Okay, so yeah, so he's like, fuck it, I'll just make a company out of this, and whoever wants to, translate their videos, okay, they come to us. We are an agency. We know how to distribute as well, because they have already made it in the countries, so they know the distribution channels, they know the people and everything, and we keep 30% of the ad revenues. It's just genius. That's absolutely genius. So yeah, yeah. Oh, this is a quote, but it's not from me. Okay, I'm not gonna take the higher ground. So the genius is that he has taken a cost center and he has made it into a profit center, where it would have just costed him money to just keep translating on a day, for every single video that it comes out, for every single channel. Okay,
he's made
he has made it a profit center.
that.
Okay, and there's one other person that's done. I mean, not there. There are many people that's done this, but the biggest one is AWS. Okay, yeah, Amazon needed the servers and everything like that, and they're like, oh shit, we have created this. Other companies would have an issue. AWS was formed.
Nice.
So, oh man, that's super super cool.
Dude,
Okay,
there's this interesting video about Mr. Beast that I was seeing, which was, I think, it was posted a long time ago. But basically, the idea is that Mr. Beast is 10 years old or 12 years old in the videos, and he has recorded these videos when he was 12 years old, and then he has set it like to publish it 5 years later and 10 years later. So he has made videos for like 15-year-old me, like videos for 15-year-old me, 20-year-old me, and so on. And in that, he's just telling, as a 12-year-old kid, like by this time, you should have these many followers, these many subscribers. And by this
yeah,
time, you should be bringing in so much money, or else you're a piece of shit. And
yeah.
and those videos have actually gone live.
I watched that video and it was super nice. So I think his 10 years from now video is
Yeah.
coming out in like a year or so.
Right.
It'll come out soon. Um, yeah, man. And talking about this obsession, right? He and just imagine, okay, it's not something that we are allowed to do as a kid.
Right.
Okay, we were always brought down, shat on by our friends or anything like that if we were doing something different. Okay, so imagine that he said this in a in I think Andrew Schultz's podcast where he's like, as a kid I was always like shat on and scrutinized for being obsessive, and now they're like, oh my god, he's obsessive. It's great, Cheers.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so do you know about the calculation for his whatchamacallit
Net
valuation?
worth. No.
Yeah, the net worth. Do you think he should be valued around $20 billion
20
right
billion.
now? That's what he said. He rejected the $1 billion bid for his YouTube channel, and he's like, I would maybe consider it if it was around 10 to $20 billion.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So here we go. Okay. So I didn't do this calculation, but it's like super super apt. Okay. It was by Patrick PBD. Okay. Really cool. In Valuetainment. Okay. I saw a video. So the American Super Bowl. Let me just tell you this. Okay. They charge $5 billion for a 30-second ad. Okay. And the Super Bowl gets around 100 million views. Okay. Mr. Beast's most viewed video is the Squid Game video, and that has almost 300 million views, combining all the different languages and all that. 300 million views, and it's a 25-minute video. Okay. Overall, his most viewed channel, Mr. Beast, okay, the normal one, has 18 billion views. Okay, so if you do the math, 18 billion, divided by 100 million into 5 million, it's almost like $900 million. Okay, and that's just his. So this would be his revenue that he's earning for a 30-second ad on one of his. On one of his channels. Okay, and he could do multiple ads as well, because what is a 30-second? 30 seconds nothing, like in a 25-minute video. Okay, he can just do that continuously for all his channels. So I don't think his, and usually revenue to valuation calculation is I don't know, 1:3, 1:2 also has worked and all that. So yeah, definitely I can see that, he can be worth 10 to 15 billion dollars right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, bro.
His content is getting 300 million views, you said, is because there's
Yeah.
legit content on it, right? Like if you were to just produce ad, right, it would probably not even be close to 300, like it wouldn't even be 10% of it because people know it's an ad, right?
It's an ad.
So maybe it would probably get like 30 million, maybe even lesser than that, right?
Yeah.
His Because he's generating something authentic and it's coming from him, it's like it kind of defines what he does. That's what people like. And the other thing that people enjoy is that he always takes his friends around. Like when you see all of his videos, it's just those 4 or 5
Yeah.
guys who are just there with him all the time, just doing shit with him together. It's like just like having fun. Like that's the most. So a
Yeah.
lot of people relate to it and they're just like, they share it with friends, they watch it with friends. It's just a good time that he's having in the videos, which is not
Yeah.
really what you see often.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And one of his habit that I like, and I would love to inculcate this after some time, is every day he, like, he's done with work or something like that. He just finds someone interesting on Twitter and he just gets on a call with someone. He just texts them, "Hey, oh, I like what you do. Can you come on a call?" And he just wants to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, he has this just amazing learning, and, like, I don't think he is a cunning person. Okay, you can just see
Yeah.
he's like, "Look, I want to make good videos. Okay, I will spend $4 to $5 million making those videos, and yeah, that's it." Okay, so in his YouTube channel, he has accomplishments as a thing. So he has a bunch of, like, stupid ones, like, gave a, not stupid ones, sorry. Okay, just outrageously crazy ones, which is, I gave away a private island. He gave away a private island. He's given hundreds of cars. He's given millions to charity. He has raised $20 million to plant 20 million trees.
Damn.
And now coming to his philanthropy channel. Okay, his philanthropy channel has 10.5 million views. Okay, it has 150 million views overall, and it has not that many videos. Okay, 1 2 3 4 1 2 4 16 videos on it. Okay, so 180 million out of just 16 videos. But look at what all he has done. We built houses for homeless families. We gave $3 million to aid Ukrainian refugees. We gave away 1 million meals. We fed 10,000 families for Thanksgiving. Okay. And oh, bro, this is crazy. We fed 5 cities in 30 days. And okay, look, yeah, and he's probably done that to a certain level, and it's an amazing thing. You will click on it, 6 million people, 10 million people have watched all these videos. It's amazing. And the USP of this channel is all the amount that's made through the ad revenue over here will be given to charity. And he starts the videos off with, "Your eyes would is essentially paying for all this." Okay, he's literally going to the people. He's being honest about it. He's like, "Okay, you come, please watch this video because," and I think I'm putting a notification bell on this because I know that, like, me watching it will only increase his ad revenue, and I know 100% of the money is going to charity,
That's it.
and, like, doing all these kind of things. So it's just amazing,
Dude,
man.
so Black Adams had come out recently, right? The
Yeah,
Rock's thing. So
yeah,
as for promotion, this guy was Mr. Beast was also there with Wade Johnson, and these guys randomly played rock paper scissors. and whoever loses, Mr. Beast would like, irrespective of whoever loses or wins, Mr. Beast would just give 200K to any charity that Dwayne Johnson wants. And then these guys played rock paper scissors. So he basically played rock paper scissors with Rock. And
Yeah, it's so funny. I think I saw that. Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, and then like, so it's just cool that he does all this, and it's just 200K is giving away. It's like take and go, and that's why people love him, right? Like he said, he's authentic. He is very pure at heart, right? He might do a lot of dumb shit, but then genuinely, he is like a very. You just feel like he's a very nice person, and he has no bad
Yeah,
intent, even though he's so
yeah,
famous and he's like so well off. And then he
yeah.
is, of course, into philanthropy, right? So that just
Hmm.
makes it like the icing on the cake,
Yeah.
which is unlike any other famous YouTuber that we see around.
Bro, and I love the fact that he's gonna become a billionaire, but he's technically already a billionaire because someone has already,
For him.
given the bid $1 billion.
Yeah,
So virtually he is worth that.
yeah,
And the Indian creator economy is just like, just I think over the last year has just gone crazy. COVID obviously started with like finance with Sharan, your, who's the guy, nearby.com, Ankur Waraku.
yeah,
Okay. All these great people that's come up, Akshat, the finance ones and all that is super great, and this only just encourages more. And I think one of the reasons why I'm also into content creation, not because of the money, the fact that content and audience, and all these things can be like, you can build your brand, build your USP, and it's a legitimate business now.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just gotta do what you gotta do. Like, I mean, you would have done this on any normal day, right? Like research about Mr. Beast, or like just like learn about startup. You could have just done it on any other normal day. But then
Yeah.
it's just so easy for us for like to convert this into content, and we know that people will watch it because we're just being so authentic on this. And so it's not very hard for content creators to come up with content, right? They just have,
Make Yeah, the only reason I'm doing this is so I can get someone to talk about these things.
yeah,
Okay, and like, before this we didn't like talk like, hey,
yeah,
get on a call where we can specifically come and discuss business and all this cool stuff that's happening.
yeah.
No, that's not a thing. So this is an amazing place where we can come and give our thoughts, give our ideas, and like put out value to the world.
Exactly, exactly. So it's so
And
easy to create content, and people like this, like you said, like just catalyze, like act as catalysts to the process of content creation, and like other content creators as well, right? That yeah, it's just super easy. You just need a smartphone, and boom, you're ready to go.
you're ready to go now.
Yeah,
So I have high hopes for the creator economy over here. Tanmay Bhatt is now angel investor. He's sitting in Bangalore. He's investing in startups. He's actually quite what you call it, bullish, right? Yeah, bullish on Web3. And he's also doing a lot of things, and that mainly started with he got an audience, he monetized his brand as well, he made that money, he got that reputation, he still does the funny stuff, and he's angel investing, and nobody can say he's a joke or anything
yeah.
like that, not a single person. So
Dude, most of the comics that are there are like people have an immense amount of respect when they're off stage. Like when you just sit, and when you sit with any comic. So my friend, he works as a manager for Samai and Tanmay Bhatt and all these guys. So he's basically directly he's just sitting and having dinner with them, right? So like you should see the way and he keeps recording all these videos, random videos of people walking towards these guys, and like like acting all crazy when they look at them. And then you just realize that like they're not just because they are funny on stage, people don't carry that around. Like to them, like they're like a completely different person off stage, and they have that immense amount of respect for what they're doing. And uh, and that kind of attitude is really helpful, like to have, right? Because it enables people like them about to actually come and like be more
yeah.
be more experimental in like the kind of things that he's doing. So that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And there are other platforms as well coming up. You have your esports guys. You have like obviously there's Twitch. that is bought by Amazon now. And Twitch streamers make quite a bit of money, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to watch this Twitch streamer during COVID. Obviously, now I just watch his YouTube. But his name is Nick Merckx. There'd be 60,000 people watching him live, and this guy would game for 6 hours, and people are just donating him money. And one time I was watching one of the one of the streamers, and he's like, "I'm raising this for charity or something like that." Raised $300,000 in like 3 hours of content or something like that, something outrageous.
Dude, it's
And
actually
that,
it's so cool that people give money to these content creators. Like, who would have thought this is a real job? Like, if you
yeah,
rewind 15 years ago, who would have thought just sitting and playing a game would get you that kind of money? Like, it would have been a
yep,
laughing stock, but here we are. This is the world we
yeah.
live in.
So here's the three commas. Let me just to wrap it up. Okay, just to give you a framework. Okay, you can do anything. Okay, the internet is a canvas where you can put out content in any form. You want video, you want audio, you want written content, different language content, 3D content, or like now you have your virtual reality, the Oculus stuff. Okay, metaverse content. Okay, as long as it's providing some sort of value, entertainment, or those kind of things, you will get an audience. Once you build an audience, you can monetize it. Okay, that's the legitimacy of the business. Okay, that's the business basically. That's the business model of all these creators, all these kind of things. I know of a guy who has a blog about watches, and it makes over $100 million a year. More about that some other day.
Oof.